Chapter 1140. As soon as Lu Ming flew into the city, numerous pairs of eyes looked at him. He's new. It's not the time for the imperial family to send people to hunt the Masha clan. Looks like this person offended the imperial family and was exiled here. He's so young. He's probably a genius of some power. He's definitely rich. Leave this person to me. I need origin stones. Bullshit. Who doesn't need origin stones? This kid is mine. Numerous voices sounded out in the surroundings, and all of them stared at Lu Ming with burning gazes. These voices naturally entered into Lu Ming's ears. Lu Ming frowned as a trace of cold light blossomed from his eyes. He's mine. There was an angry bellow and a burly figure dashed out. He lifted his big hand and pressed it toward Lu Ming. Space trembled without end as a powerful force surged towards Lu Ming. This was a first-level spirit god realm expert. You're courting death. Lu Ming's gaze went cold as he slashed out with his palm. His palm was like a heavenly blade that slashed onto this person's palm. Crack. The bones in this person's palm were directly broken by Lu Ming. He let out a shrill cry as his figure retreated madly, and he looked at Lu Ming with astonishment. This person has some ability. Attack together. Someone shouted loudly. Instantly, 7 or 8 figures pounced towards Lu Ming. These figures were actually domain enlightened spirit god realm experts. There were first-level spirit god realm experts, second-level spirit god realm experts, and the strongest was third-level spirit god realm experts. The 8 of them attacked together, and their momentum was extremely terrifying. All kinds of attacks covered Lu Ming's entire body. If it was an ordinary martial artist at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm, he would be injured or even suppressed under the siege of so many experts. But how could an ordinary 3rd-level spirit god realm expert compare to Lu Ming? He circulated the hell-suppressing heaven art and slashed out 8 times in succession. Bang! 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 8 explosions sounded out, followed by a wave of the sound of bones breaking and shrill cries. The 8 figures spat out blood as they retreated, crashing heavily into the surrounding buildings. No matter if it was a 1st-level spirit god, a 2nd-level spirit god, or even a 3rd-level spirit god, they all suffered the same fate. And this was Lu Ming showing mercy. Otherwise, all of them would have died in one move. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air as they looked at Lu Ming in horror. It's too terrifying. It's only a single move, yet all 8 experts were heavily injured. And even that expert at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm was no exception. What sort of combat strength is this? Moreover, he looked so young, which was even more unbelievable. Could it be that he's one of the top geniuses outside? Someone said in a trembling voice, causing everyone to shudder. No one dared to make a move. Even though there were a few hundred people in this city, it was impossible for all of them to be at the domain enlightened spirit god realm. In reality, most of them were at the spirit embryo realm, and there were only a dozen or so at the domain enlightened spirit god realm. Lu Ming's cold gaze swept across the surroundings. When those people met Lu Ming's gaze, their hearts trembled, and they didn't dare to look directly at Lu Ming. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared above the expert at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. It was an old man with white hair and a skinny figure. At this moment, he was looking at Lu Ming in horror. Lu Ming's palm strike just now contained an extremely terrifying power, but it didn't explode. He had a feeling that if it exploded, he would already be dead. Young hero, please spare my life. This old man was confused for a moment. The old man kept begging for mercy. Speak, why did you attack me as soon as I came in? Lu Ming asked coldly. Sigh, we were forced to do so. Young hero, you must have just entered the underworld, right? Allow me to explain to you in detail. The skinny old man sighed, and then he explained in detail. It turned out that these people had offended the imperial family, or simply belonged to the ancient Saint dynasty. Because of their mistakes, they were exiled to the underworld to hunt the Devil Temple clan to atone for their sins. However, the Devil Temple clan was innumerable in the underworld demon domain, and they were scattered everywhere. It was very dangerous. As for the martial artists of the human clan, they absorbed and refined the demon chi very slowly in the underworld demon domain. After a long time, They had already used up the origin stones that they had brought. If the speed of refining the demon chi was too slow, it would be very disadvantageous for them in the battle against the Devil Temple clan. Sometimes it was not them who hunted the Devil Temple clan, but the Devil Temple clan who hunted them. They had no choice but to gather together and build a city to defend against the Devil Temple clan. This was also the reason why Lu Ming saw this small city now. For the people of the underworld demon domain, what was the most precious thing? Of course, the origin stones were the most precious thing. Therefore, when they saw that Lu Ming had just entered the underworld demon domain, they were naturally greedy and wanted to seize Lu Ming's origin stones. To put it bluntly, these people were just a group of pitiful people. You can all leave. I won't make things difficult for you. Lu Ming waved his hand and dismissed the few people who wanted to fight, leaving only the old man. The skinny old man's cultivation was the highest among these people, and he should be the leader of these people. Young hero, do you have any other orders? The skinny old man looked at Lu Ming, and he was a little nervous. To be honest, he had lived for a long time, but he had never seen such a powerful young expert before. Let me ask you, the imperial family exiled you here to let you kill the Devil Temple clan, so that you can get points. When you have enough points, they will let you go, right? Lu Ming asked. Yes, that's right. However, the points are just a scam. The skinny old man gritted his teeth. A scam? What's going on? Why didn't I get any points from killing the Devil Temple clan? Lu Ming asked. Young hero, the imperial family told you. How many points do you need to get out? The skinny old man asked. 10,000. Lu Ming said. 10,000. The skinny old man's eyes suddenly widened, and he gasped with disbelief on his face. Lu Ming frowned, and he waited quietly for the old man to continue. Haha, young hero, in my opinion, the imperial family has no intention of letting you out at all. They want to keep you here forever. The old man smiled bitterly. What do you mean? Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. Young hero, you still don't know how points are obtained, right? Let me tell you. Killing members of the Devil Sha clan below the domain Enlightened Spirit God realm doesn't give you any points, and only by killing experts at the domain Enlightened Spirit God realm and above can you obtain points. Killing a first-level spiritual god will give you 1 point, a second-level spiritual god will give you 2 points, a third-level spiritual god will give you 3 points, and so on. Killing a 9th-level spiritual god will give you 9 points, and killing a perfect spiritual god will give you 10 points. Killing a Supreme Stage Devil Temple clan member will give you 100 points, and killing a Monarch Stage Devil Temple clan member will give you 10,000 points. The skinny old man explained. Damn it! Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly while killing intent flashed explosively in his eyes. He understood that he'd been tricked. Xie Qitian, a dignified saint emperor, had actually deceived him. According to this conversion, how could he possibly obtain 10,000 points? Killing a first-level spiritual god Devil Temple clan member would only give him 1 point, and killing a perfect spiritual god would only give him 10 points. Even a Supreme Stage Devil Temple clan member would only give him 100 points. This meant that he had to kill 100 Supreme Stage Devil Temple clan members in order to obtain 10,000 points. Besides that, Monarch Stage Devil Temple clan members would give him 10,000 points, but killing a Monarch Stage Devil Temple clan member. Chapter 1141. Perhaps Lu Ming would never be able to obtain 10,000 points in his lifetime. They wanted to imprison Lu Ming in 9 Serenities demon realm for the rest of his life. What a ruthless and brilliant method. Lu Ming's body emitted a cold murderous intent, which made the skinny old man shudder. Everything will wait until I find Xiao Qing. Lu Ming exhaled deeply and withdrew his murderous intent. Senior, do you know where Xian Yinqing the 16th princess is? Lu Ming finally asked the question that he wanted to ask the most. 9 Serenities demon realm was too big. It was like looking for a needle in a haystack. This old man had been here for many years, so he might know something. 16th princess? You mean the princess with the bloodline of the royal family? The skinny old man said. Yes, I have some impression of her. 16th princess was exiled to 9 Serenities demon realm 3 years ago. When she first came here, her cultivation was still weak. She stayed in the periphery of Nine Serenities demon realm for a while. Later she stayed in this city for a year. I'm quite familiar with her. Sigh. It's a pity that the royal family treated a rare genius like her so badly. Why are you looking for her? The skinny old man said, and then let out a long sigh, as if he felt sorry for Xian Yinqing. Hearing this, Lu Ming's eyes lit up, and he said, I'm her friend. Senior, do you know where she is now? I don't know. The skinny old man shook his head and said, the royal family asked 16th princess for the same thing as you, 10,000 points. So after her cultivation improved, she left here and went deep into Nine Serenities demon realm. Crack. The old man's words made Lu Ming clench his fists, and the murderous intent in his heart bloomed uncontrollably. Lu Ming's heart was very uncomfortable. The murderous intent toward the royal family, Xie Zhen, and Xie Qitian was very strong. They wanted to imprison Xian Yinqing in the 9 underworlds for the rest of his life. Especially 3 years ago. At that time, Xian Yinqing was only at the Sea of Soul realm, but they had already imprisoned Xian Yinqing in the 9 underworlds. It was not hard to imagine how much Xian Yinqing had suffered, and how many dangers he had encountered in the past few years. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart ached. But now, Xian Yinqing had already entered the depths of the 9 underworlds. Where was he? Lu Ming's thoughts wandered for a long time before he calmed down. Senior, please take these origin stones. Lu Ming gave the skinny old man a storage ring, which contained tens of thousands of origin stones. Then, Lu Ming soared into the sky and left the city, heading towards the depths of the 9 underworlds. In the 9 underworlds there was also day and night. During the day, there was a dark sun floating in the sky. At night, there was a blood moon in the sky. Moreover, when the blood moon was in the sky, the devil chi in the world was extremely dense. At this time, the devil clan and the demonic beasts would be stronger, while the human race would be suppressed. The blood moon in the sky and the devil chi was vast and mighty. However, to Lu Ming, it did not affect him at all. The 9 dragons' bloodline burst out, devouring the billowing devil chi and refining it into true yuan. Lu Ming flew rapidly into the depths of the 9 underworlds. There were definitely more than a few human race warriors in the 9 underworlds. In the depths of the 9 underworlds, there must be a gathering place of the human race. Lu Ming planned to find the gathering place of the human race and inquire about it. Swoosh, swoosh. There was a sharp sound of something breaking through the air. A few black figures whizzed over and charged toward Lu Ming. The 3 devil clan members were extremely ferocious. They held bone spears in their hands and stabbed at Lu Ming. Their speed was terrifyingly fast, and their auras were also very strong. These 3 were first-level spirit god realm devil clan members. With the blood moon in the sky, it was extremely dangerous to walk in the 9 underworlds, because many of the devil clan members would move out. Roar! The 9 dragons roared, and the devouring power shrouded the 3 devil clan members. The 3 devil clan members could not move at all, and their eyes were filled with fear. Then, the energy and blood essence of the 3 devil clan members were devoured by the 9 dragons, and they turned into 3 dried corpses. The 9 dragons had reached the 8th level of the divine realm, and their devouring power was undoubtedly stronger. After killing the 3 first-level spirit god realm devil clan members, a change finally appeared on the jade token, and a number appeared. 3. Lu Ming sneered. Killing a first-level spirit god realm devil clan member only gave him 1 point. Compared to the terrifying number of 10,000 points, what was the use of this? Lu Ming's figure flashed, and he continued to fly towards the depths of the 9 underworlds. In just a short while, the 3 first-level spirit god realm devil clan members' blood essence were completely refined by Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the blood essence of the first-level spirit god realm devil clan members was naturally useless to Lu Ming. Just like this, Lu Ming continued to travel for 3 days. Along the way, he encountered more than a dozen attacks. Some were from the devil clan, and some were from the devil beasts here. However, there were not many of them above the spirit god realm. Most of the attacks were from the spirit embryo realm. In 3 days, Lu Ming had crossed thousands of mountains and rivers. Die! Human, Kill him. In front of him a sharp voice sounded. Lu Ming heard it and knew it was the voice of the Devil Clan. Then, a series of explosions sounded in front of him. Apparently, a fierce battle had taken place. Lu Ming did not hesitate and flew towards the source of the sound. After 3 days, he was finally going to meet a human again. In a mountain range, 7 to 8 Devil Clan members were besieging a middle-aged man. The middle-aged man's cultivation was very high. He was at the 4th level spirit god realm, and he was fighting with 7 to 8 Devil Clan members. However, the 7 to 8 Devil Clan members were all strong practitioners. The weakest among them was at the 2nd level spirit god realm. The rest were at the 3rd level spirit god realm, and there was even one at the 4th level spirit god realm. With so many Devil Clan members working together, the middle-aged man was at a disadvantage. He could only defend himself, and did not have the strength to fight back. Break for me! The middle-aged man fought back with all his strength, and chopped a 2nd level spirit god realm Devil Clan member to death. However, his back was also cut by a 4th level spirit god realm Devil Clan member's bone spur, and blood flowed out. He used all his strength to break out of the encirclement and flew forward. Behind him, the other Devil Clan members chased after him. The middle-aged man was running in the direction of Lu Ming. After flying for some distance, the middle-aged man saw Lu Ming's figure. "Little brother, leave quickly," the middle-aged man shouted. However, Lu Ming stood in the air and did not move. "Little brother, leave quickly. There are experts of the Devil Clan behind you." Seeing that Lu Ming did not move, the middle-aged man shouted again. He was a little anxious. The corner of Lu Ming's mouth curved into a smile. This middle-aged man had a good heart. He reminded him to leave. If it were an ordinary person, they would have used Lu Ming to block the attack to buy time for themselves. It's just a few Devil Clan members. There's no need to run. Lu Ming smiled. The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and the devouring power erupted, shrouding the entire Masha clan. The middle-aged burly man looked on in horror. Apart from the 4th level spirit god Masha clan member, the rest of the Masha clan members shriveled rapidly. In the end, they lost their vitality and turned into dried corpses. Whoosh! Chapter 1142. The middle-aged man was flabbergasted, and he was stunned on the spot. 7 domain enlightened spirit god realm clansmen, and the strongest amongst them was in existence at the 4th level of the domain enlightened spirit god realm. Yet they were instantly annihilated by Lu Ming, and the middle-aged man felt like he was dreaming. Moreover, Lu Ming looked to be so young, yet such combat strength was simply inconceivable. "Big brother, it's done." Lu Ming smiled as he put away the 9 dragons' bloodline, and then he split a portion of his attention to start refining it. Little brother is amazing, truly amazing. I admire you." The middle-aged man stuttered as he sighed with emotion. Lu Ming smiled lightly, and didn't say anything. "I'm Dushan, what's your name?" asked the middle-aged man. "Lu Ming." Lu Ming replied. "Brother Lu, big brother has important matters to attend to, so I can't accompany you. Little brother, be careful." As soon as he finished speaking, Dushan intended to fly towards a direction. "Big brother Du, what's the matter? Perhaps Lu Ming can be of help." Lu Ming called out to Dushan. He'd finally encountered another human race cultivator with great difficulty, and Lu Ming was just about to inquire about Xian Yanqing from him. So how could he allow Dushan to leave so easily? Alas, the human race gathering place I'm at is being besieged by the Devilsha clan. I received the news and wanted to rush back to provide assistance, yet I never expected that I would be blocked by the Devilsha clan here. Dushan sighed and was slightly anxious. "The human race gathering place? I'll go with you." Lu Ming's eyes lit up. "All right, perhaps we'll be able to be saved with little brother along." Dushan's eyes lit up as well. The combat strength Lu Ming revealed earlier was unfathomable and formidable to the extreme, so he intended to ask Lu Ming for help as well. However, Lu Ming had saved him earlier and asked Lu Ming to take a risk with him, so he was truly embarrassed to ask. At this moment, Lu Ming had taken the initiative to ask, so he was naturally overjoyed. Dushan immediately led the way while Lu Ming followed behind him, and they flew swiftly towards the north. After flying for hundreds of thousands of miles, The sound of battle cries could be heard from the front. In the distance, they could see a fortress made of strange metal. Around the fortress there was an intense battle going on. More than 1,000 Devil Temple clansmen surrounded the fortress. Among them, there were many existences with powerful auras. Lu Ming scanned them with his spiritual consciousness and discovered that there were dozens of Devil Temple clansmen at the Spirit God realm. The rest were all Devil Temple clansmen at the high stage of the Spirit Embryo realm. On the other hand, there were very few people in the fort, and there were only a little over 20 of them. All of them were Domain Enlightened Spirit God realm experts, and they were in a battle with the Masha clan. However, they were obviously in a completely disadvantaged position. Human die. A shrill scream was heard. One of the Demon Sha clan's clansmen had a particularly strong aura. Both of his hands were holding a black, extremely sharp-boned spear. His body moved as fast as lightning, dashing towards a human expert. That human expert was at the 3rd level of Spirit God realm, but he couldn't fight back against this Masha clan member. The bone spike pierced through his glabella, and he didn't even have time to scream before he was killed. The peak of the 5th level of Spirit God realm. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that this Masha clan member was at the peak of the 5th level of Spirit God realm. He was the strongest existence in the Masha clan. Among the human martial artists, the strongest was only at the 4th level of Spirit God realm. Damn it, kill. Seeing this, Du Shan shouted loudly and rushed forward with his battle axe. Another one has come to die. The Masha clan member at the 5th level of Spirit God realm glanced at Du Shan coldly and sneered. His demonic aura surged, and his pair of flesh spikes flapped. His body pounced at Lu Ming like lightning. A battle axe floated above Du Shan's head. It was Du Shan's bloodline, a 4th level divine bloodline. Du Shan transformed into a battle axe and slashed at his opponent. Ding! Ding! 2 crisp sounds were heard. The battle axe that Du Shan had transformed into was sent flying far away. Die! The Masha clan member screamed. The bone spike in his hand was thin and long, but it was extremely hard and sharp. It seemed to be able to pierce through everything as it stabbed towards Du Shan. Chi! Chi! 2 jarring sounds were heard. The bone spike of the Masha clan member had pierced through the battle axe that Du Shan had transformed into. An angry roar came from the battle axe. The battle axe shook and dispersed, turning back into Du Shan's body. His face was pale as he retreated quickly. Die! The Masha clan member's eyes were cold. The bone spike pierced through the air and stabbed towards Du Shan's glabella. At this moment, a palm that was like a knife suddenly appeared and slashed at the bone spike. A terrifying force exploded, and the bone spike buzzed and broke into dozens of pieces. The palm knife followed the momentum and struck the shoulder of the Masha clan member. Bam! The shoulder of the Masha clan member exploded, and he was sent flying like a cannonball. A few Spirit Embryo Realm Masha clan members were killed by the impact. Roar! The 9 dragons roared, and a devouring force exploded, enveloping the Masha clan members. The Spirit Embryo Realm Masha clan members were instantly devoured and turned into dried corpses. The 1st level, 2nd level, and 3rd level Spirit God Realm Masha clan members screamed in fear and turned into dried corpses under the devouring force. The human martial artists were all stunned. The remaining Masha clan members roared crazily, trying to escape. However, under the terrifying devouring force, they were unable to move as if they had fallen into a quagmire. Kill! Lu Ming rushed over and cut down all the Masha clan members, as if he was cutting grass. Swoosh! The 5th level Spirit God Realm Masha clan member was only injured, but he was not dead yet. He flapped his wings and turned into a ray of demonic light, trying to escape. He knew that a top human martial artist had come. The attack just now had severely injured him. If he did not escape, only death would await him. However, he was shocked to find that he could not escape at all. Lu Ming's figure was like a flickering shadow. He caught up with the 5th level Spirit God Realm Masha clan member in an instant and appeared behind him. Let's die together. Torrential slaughter. Seeing that he could not escape, the Masha clan member roared angrily. Demonic chi soared into the sky. He spread his wings and his body spun rapidly in the air. A pair of wings cut through the air like two sabers, bringing about a torrential attack. It was like a terrifying tornado that could destroy everything. It swept towards Lu Ming. Two streams of dragon power burst out from Lu Ming's body. He then performed the hell-suppressing heaven skill and slashed down with his palm. This palm was like a heavenly saber that had the power to suppress everything. Boom! The torrential attack of the Masha clan member collapsed instantly. The palm slashed on the Masha clan member and killed him. His energy and blood essence were all devoured by Lu Ming. In the castle, the human martial artists stared with their eyes wide open. It seemed that they had not reacted yet. Brother Lu Ming, thank you for saving us again. Otherwise, sigh. Dushan walked over and thanked Lu Ming. His voice was filled with emotion. If it were not for Lu Ming, he would have been dead long ago. At this time, the human martial artists in the castle came to their senses and flew over to thank him. Especially when they saw that Lu Ming had such battle strength at such a young age. They were even more amazed. I heard that the geniuses of the outside world are rising. The young generation is dominated by the 5 giants. But in my opinion, Brother Lu's battle strength is probably stronger than the 5 giants. A white-haired old man exclaimed. Chapter 1143. Lu Ming quickly said that he didn't dare, and then chatted with them for a while. Through the conversation, Lu Ming found out that all of them had offended the royal family, or the powerful figures in the ancient Saint dynasty. There were even experts from the overlord forces among them. They might not know each other outside, but they were very united in the abyss of hell. Because in the abyss of hell, if they weren't united, they would be defeated by the Masha clan one by one and be buried here. Similarly, the royal family had set a score for them. As long as they could complete the score, they would be allowed to leave. However, the score was so high that it made them despair. However, they were all spiritual god realm experts who could live for 5,000 years. They weren't willing to be locked up in the abyss of hell for the rest of their lives. Therefore, they hoped that they could accumulate enough points to leave the abyss of hell. Therefore, they would constantly hunt down the Masha clan. In return, the Masha clan would kill them. That was why the Masha clan attacked the city today. In fact, the Masha clan attacking the city was a common occurrence. However, the Masha clan that came today was a little too strong. Little brother Lu, can we have a chat in the castle? Dushan invited. It's okay. However, I have a question that I would like to ask all of you. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, What is it? Just say it. As long as I know, I will tell you. The others said one after another. Seniors, may I ask if you have seen 16th Princess? Lu Ming asked. 16th Princess? Are you talking about 16th Princess who has the bloodline of the royal family? I haven't seen her, but I heard that she is in the abyss of hell. Dushan pondered for a moment and said. Many others shook their heads. I have seen 16th Princess once. A voice sounded, causing Lu Ming's heart to skip a beat. It was the white-haired old woman. Senior, when was that? Where did you see her? Lu Ming asked hurriedly. A few months ago, about a few million miles away from here. I even talked to 16th Princess. She said that she was going to the Devil's Steel Mountain. The old woman replied. What? Devil's Steel Mountain? Everyone else sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and said, Devil's Steel Mountain? Is it very dangerous? Indeed, it's very dangerous. Brother Lu, the Devil's Steel Mountain is a forbidden area in the 9 underworlds. Many powerful Devil Temple clan members have entered the Devil's Steel Mountain, and they all died there. Humans are no exception. Dushan sighed. There's no way out. Lu Ming started to feel anxious. If it was so dangerous, why would Xian Yinqing go? Seniors, do you have a map to the Devil's Steel Mountain? Lu Ming said. Brother Lu, are you going to the Devil's Steel Mountain? That place is extremely dangerous. Although the Devil's Steel Mountain is incomparably dangerous, there are powerful Devil Temple clans residing around the Devil's Steel Mountain all year round. They cultivate in the outer region of the Devil's Steel Mountain, hoping to obtain some good fortune. Therefore, the outer region of the Devil's Steel Mountain is extremely dangerous. Little brother, you have to be careful. The white-haired old woman tried to mediate. Many thanks, seniors. However, Lu Ming must go to the Devil's Steel Mountain. Lu Ming's tone was resolute. Now that he knew Xian Yinqing's whereabouts, and that he might be in danger, he had to go even if he had to climb a mountain of swords or enter a sea of flames. Seeing Lu Ming's resolute attitude, Du Shan, the white-haired old O, and the other sighed and stopped trying to persuade him. In the end, the white-haired old O took out a map and gave it to Lu Ming. The map was rough, but it roughly depicted the 9 Nether Devil Domains' topography and location. On the map, there was a rough route to the 9 Nether Devil Steel Mountain. Many thanks, seniors. Lu Ming will take his leave. Lu Ming kept the map and bid farewell to the others. He didn't want to waste a second. Lu Ming transformed into a beam of light and pierced through the night sky, heading in the direction of the demonic Tablet Mountain at an extremely fast speed. On the way, Lu Ming used an illusory aura technique to darken his aura, making it similar to the Devil Temple clan's aura. As expected, it saved him a lot of trouble. The number of Devil Temple clan members who attacked him decreased greatly. Lu Ming's speed was very fast. He was on his way. A few months ago, Xian Yinqing went to the Devil Steel Mountain. He should have arrived by now. The Devil Steel Mountain is so dangerous. How is Xian Yinqing now? Thinking of this, Lu Ming's heart was burning with anxiety. He couldn't wait to get to Xian Yinqing's side. The Devil Steel Mountain was located in the depths of the 9 Nether Devil Domain. It was very far away from the castle where Du Shan and the others were. With Lu Ming's speed, it took him 5 days to reach the Devil Steel Mountain. That's... Lu Ming stood in the air and looked into the distance. He was slightly shocked. This area was filled with mountains as far as the eye could see. There were many mountains and steep ridges with all kinds of strange plants growing on them. However, among the mountains, there was a mountain peak that was extremely prominent. Even from a very far distance, one could see it with a single glance. This was because the mountain peak was too majestic. It was like a crane and a flock of chickens among the mountains. It was high up in the sky, and no one knew how high it was. The mountain was shrouded in black mist. It was impossible to see the exact situation of the mountain peak. Is that the Devil Steel Mountain? Lu Ming thought in his heart. His eyes were filled with shock and doubt. This was because he felt that the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline in his body was emitting a scorching aura, as if it was about to appear from his spine. What's going on? Why is the Devil Steel Mountain causing the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline to react? Lu Ming was puzzled. Let's go. With a thought, Lu Ming flew towards the huge mountain that was shrouded in black mist. As he got closer, he could feel the grandeur and majesty of the huge mountain. The other mountains were also tall and majestic. However, compared to this mountain, they were far inferior. The suppressing Hell Steel bloodline's reaction was even more intense. Lu Ming's heart jumped. He felt that there was a powerful fluctuation in front of him. It was not just one wave, but several. Each wave contained a powerful devil aura. They were the experts of the Devil Temple clan. Lu Ming withdrew his aura to the extreme and flew forward. That human girl obtained a treasure in the Devil Steel Mountain. We must not let that treasure fall into the hands of the human race. Let's attack together and kill her. Let's go together. That human girl has been surrounded. She can't escape. She must die today. The treasure in the Devil Steel Mountain belongs to the Devil Temple clan. A few dry and unpleasant voices sounded. A few figures flew past in front of him. They were all members of the Devil Temple clan. Their auras were very strong. With a quick glance, Lu Ming realized that the Devil Temple clan members were all in the 6th level of the Spirit God realm. Could the person they are talking about be Little Qing? Not good. Lu Ming's expression changed. He followed the 3 Devil Temple clan members from afar. Boom! Boom! Sizzle! Not long after, a violent explosion sounded in front of him. There was also the sound of sharp weapons piercing through the air. There was still a great battle in front of him. This made Lu Ming feel slightly relieved. In front of him, the Devil Temple clan members increased their speed and flew quickly. They were like bolts of lightning. They flew past a few mountains and joined the battle. Not good. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and rushed over the last few hundred miles in an instant. He arrived at the battlefield. In front of him, more than 10 Devil Temple clan experts were besieging a human girl. Seeing the girl, Lu Ming's heart trembled violently. Chapter 1144. The beautiful woman in front of him was none other than the Xian Yinqing that Lu Ming yearned for day and night. It had been more than 3 years since Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing had parted ways in Nine Dragon City. After 3 years, Xian Yinqing had matured a little, but he had also lost some weight. His face was cold, and so was his gaze. At this moment, Xian Yinqing's demonic aura billowed to the sky. He gently pressed his palms forward, and a terrifying force field covered a radius of 100 miles, destroying everything. At the same time, above Xian Yinqing's head, there was a beautiful woman. She was sitting cross-legged on a black lotus, and her demonic aura billowed. Her palms were constantly striking out, blocking the attacks that came from all directions. This was Xian Yinqing's third bloodline, which was very similar to Xian Yinqing's second bloodline. However, there were 9 golden chakras around his body, a 9th grade divine grade bloodline. Moreover, Xian Yinqing's cultivation had also stepped into the 3rd level spirit god realm. There were 11 people from the Masha clan besieging Xian Yinqing. The 11 Masha clan members were all in the 6th level spirit god realm. Each of them held a terrifying bone spike in their hands, and they surrounded Xian Yinqing and attacked him fiercely. Xian Yinqing's terrifying force field covered a radius of 100 miles, and the Masha clan members' speed was greatly affected. Moreover, Xian Yinqing mainly focused on defense. Even so, he was still at a disadvantage. If this continued, he would be defeated sooner or later. Girl, hand over the demon statue, and I'll leave your corpse intact. Otherwise, you'll end up miserable. This human girl is really beautiful. Even I am tempted. After I take him down, I'll let him have a taste of my power. A series of unpleasant and ear-piercing voices sounded. You're courting death. At this moment, the killing intent in Lu Ming's heart exploded. Within his body, 8 dragon energies suddenly erupted, filling his body with incomparably powerful energy. Taking a step forward, Lu Ming's body turned into a beam of black spear light, darting into Xian Yinqing's force field. He activated the suppressing hell heavenly skill, and threw a punch at a demon temple clan member. The Masha clan member did not expect that someone would attack him at this moment. He wanted to dodge, but it was already too late. Bang! Lu Ming's fist slammed into the demon nether's back, and a terrifying power exploded out, creating a large hole in the demon nether's body. When Xian Yinqing heard the commotion, he thought that the Devil Sha clan's experts had come to reinforce them. Instinctively, he turned to look in their direction. When she saw Lu Ming's figure, her petite figure shuddered violently, and her eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, her eyes were completely focused on Lu Ming. She could not take her eyes off him at all. Chi! A sharp sound rang out as it rapidly approached Xian Yinqing. Watch out! Lu Ming was shocked and angry, and he quickly rushed toward Xian Yinqing. At this moment, a Masha clan member seized the opportunity to attack Xian Yinqing while Xian Yinqing was distracted. Xian Yinqing only came to his senses after Lu Ming shouted at him. He unleashed his force field and retreated hastily. However, he was still a step too late. His shoulder was pierced by the sharp edge of the Masha clan's bone spur. A small wound appeared and blood kept flowing. You're courting death, Lu Ming shouted, and his 3rd bloodline appeared. A trace of energy entered Lu Ming's body, turning Lu Ming's hair and eyes blood red. Kill! His 3rd bloodline turned into a battle sword. Lu Ming held the blood-red battle sword in his hand, and used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. He instantly appeared in front of the Masha clan member, who had launched a sneak attack. He slashed out with his sword, and sword light burst out, cutting the 6th level spirit god expert in half. Lu Ming! Xian Yinqing didn't care about his injury, and his eyes were still fixed on Lu Ming, not wanting to move away at all. She was afraid that all of this was an illusion, a dream. If she moved her eyes away, everything in front of her would vanish. She didn't know how many times she had had such a dream. Little Qing, I'm here. Lu Ming reached out a hand, and held Xian Yinqing's little hand. Xian Yinqing's little hand was cold. The heat from Lu Ming's palm was transmitted to Xian Yinqing's little hand, causing Xian Yinqing's body to tremble. His big eyes were filled with tears. Lu Ming, is it really you? Am I dreaming? Xian Yinqing looked at Lu Ming in a daze. His little hand tightened and grabbed Lu Ming's big hand tightly. as if he was afraid that Lu Ming would disappear if he let go. Silly, it's really me. Let's kill these Masha clan members first. Lu Ming said softly, and then glanced around. Lu Ming suddenly appeared and killed 2 Masha clan members with lightning speed. The other Masha clan members were shocked, and they retreated far away. They didn't attack for a while. It's also a 3rd-level spirit god kid. He launched a sneak attack just now, and that's why he killed 2 of us. There's nothing to be afraid of. We can kill them if we join forces. A Masha clan member said, his eyes cold. That's right. Let's attack together and kill. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The remaining 9 Masha clan members attacked together. The bone spears in their hands broke through the void and attacked Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing. Heavenly Demon Force Field. Xian Yinqing finally calmed down and shouted. She pressed her palm, and a terrifying force field exploded. After 3 years, Xian Yinqing had awakened her 3rd bloodline, and her cultivation had reached the 3rd-level spirit god realm. Her force field seemed to have broken through as well, becoming even more terrifying. The heavenly demon force field shrouded the Masha clan members. At the same time, there was a terrifying destructive force in the force field, which greatly reduced the speed of the Masha clan members. However, Lu Ming wasn't affected at all. This kind of intent realm. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. He realized that Xian Yinqing's artistic conception was one more type than before. It was a terrifying demonic artistic conception, and its power was terrifying. Without much time to think, Lu Ming stepped out. His killing intent surged like a tide, and he attacked the Masha clan members. He realized that the 8th dragon force was indeed powerful. At this moment, all 8 dragon forces were unleashed, and his battle strength was even more powerful than before. Swoosh! Lu Ming appeared in front of a Masha clan member, and his cold killing intent shrouded the Masha clan member, making him shudder. Whoosh! The blood-red sword light slashed at the Masha clan member. The terrifying power shocked the Masha clan member, and he hastily used his bone spear to block. With a ripping sound, the bone spear was cut off. The sword light flashed, and one of the Masha clan members' arms was cut off. The Masha clan member was horrified and wanted to run away. However, Lu Ming's 2nd sword attack came. Puchi! Bloody light burst forth, blood splashed out, and a head flew high into the air. A 6th-level spirit god realm Masha clan member was killed in an instant. If Lu Ming were to deal with a 6th-level spirit god realm Masha clan member alone, it wouldn't be so easy to kill him without a sneak attack. It would probably take some effort. However, with Xian Yinqing's help, killing a 6th-level spirit god realm Masha clan member was easy. Swoosh! After killing the Masha clan member, Lu Ming attacked another one. At this moment, the 2 seemed to have returned to the past. They had returned to the time when they were adventuring in the Eastern Wasteland. At that time, the 2 of them had also cooperated like this. Chapter 1145. Lotus Sword Kill. Xian Yinqing shouted as black lotuses appeared around her. The black lotus petals condensed into black lotus swords in the sky and shot towards the Masha clan. Every lotus sword was terrifyingly powerful. There were intense lingering around them as they slashed through the sky and cut open the space. The Masha clan members could only divert their attention to block the lotus swords. Their battle strength was affected again. Puchi! Lu Ming rushed over and killed another Masha clan member in less than 2 moves. Not good. The 2 of them are too powerful. Some of the Masha clan members cried out in fear. The combination of Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing was terrifyingly powerful. It wasn't as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Their battle strength had increased exponentially. The Masha clan members wanted to retreat. What are you afraid of? Let's attack together. At this moment, an ear-piercing voice sounded. Not far away, a terrifying light flew towards them, emitting a powerful aura. 7th-level spirit god. Lu Ming's heart shook. It was a Masha clan member at the 7th level of the spirit god realm. Seeing a Masha clan member at the 7th level of the spirit god realm, the other Masha clan members became more confident. A 7th-level spirit god was much stronger than a 6th-level spirit god. Kill! Kill! The Masha clan members tried their best to break through the force field and charged towards Lu Ming. Whoosh! The Masha clan member at the 7th level of the spirit god realm charged towards Xian Yinqing. He could see that Xian Yinqing's influence was too great in a group battle. It would be much easier to deal with Lu Ming after dealing with Xian Yinqing. Sizzle! The Masha clan member at the 7th level of the spirit god realm charged into the heavenly demon force field. An ear-piercing sound rang out along with a series of flames. However, he still broke through the force field and charged towards Xian Yinqing. Xian Yinqing waved his hands, and the black lotus swords were deflected by the Masha clan member's bone spikes. Kill! At this moment, Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared in front of the 7th level spirit god realm Masha clansman. He slashed out with his blood-red battle sword and collided with the opponent's bone spike. Ding! Lu Ming's body and his opponent's body retreated at the same time. That Masha clansman was shocked. He didn't expect Lu Ming to be so strong. He was only at the 3rd layer of spirit god realm, but he was actually able to push him back. Roar! Above Lu Ming's head, the 9 dragons' bloodline emerged. Lu Ming performed the bloodline fusion, turning into 9 dragons. The 9 dragons roared, and a devouring power burst out. Together with Xian Yinqing's force field, it enveloped the Masha clan member. At the same time, the 9 dragons stepped forward and charged toward the Masha clan. On the other side, Xian Yinqing also used bloodline fusion, turning into a peerless heavenly demon. His heavenly demon energy field became even stronger. He pressed his jade-like hand down, and a black jade-like palm print pressed towards the demon temple clan. Boom! Boom! Facing the joint attack of the two of them, the Masha clan member at the 7th level of the spirit god realm was beaten back repeatedly and spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Prison suppression kill. The 9 dragons stepped forward, and every inch of his body could erupt with the prison suppression heaven art. The dragon claws and dragon tails were extremely terrifying. Moreover, Lu Ming had once comprehended a true dragon battle technique from the Jade Wall of the World Academy. When they worked together, their power was even more powerful. Bang! The Masha clan member was beaten until blood kept spurting out of his mouth. His last wing was torn off by the 9 dragons' claws. Then, the heavenly demon that Xian Yinqing had transformed into slammed his palm down on the Masha clan member's chest, almost tearing him into pieces. Although he didn't die, he lost half of his life. No! The Masha clan member roared and wanted to escape. At this moment, he was extremely terrified. He never thought that the 2/3 layer of spirit god realm ants would be so powerful. The two of them working together actually beat him, a 7th layer of spirit god realm existence, without any strength to fight back. However, it was already too late for him to escape now. Bang! The 9 dragons' claws slammed down on the Masha clan member's head, piercing through his skull. A 7th layer of spirit god realm martial artist was dead. Run! The rest of the Masha clan members were so shocked that their hearts almost stopped beating. This was too terrifying. A 7th layer of spirit god realm expert died just like that. It had only been a few moves. All of you stay here. The 9 dragons roared, and their devouring power spread out rapidly, enveloping the rest of the Masha clan. At the same time, Xian Yinqing's heavenly demon force field also spread out, enveloping all of the Masha clan members. Roar! The 9 dragons stepped forward and instantly appeared in front of a Masha clan member, clawing down and killing him directly. The heavenly demon that Xian Yinqing had transformed into also stepped forward and slammed his palm down, smashing a Masha clan member into pieces. With the two of them working together, killing a 6th layer of spirit god realm Masha clan member was as easy as chopping vegetables. No matter how hard the Masha clan members roared, it was useless. They were all killed one by one. In less than a minute, the rest of the Masha clan members were all killed, and their blood essence and energy were all devoured by the 9 dragons. At this moment, the 9 dragons shrunk rapidly and turned back into Lu Ming. Xian Yinqing also withdrew his bloodline. The two of them stood in the air, looking at each other. Their eyes were filled with longing for each other. Lu Ming! Xian Yinqing exclaimed softly. After the battle, Xian Yinqing was finally sure that all of this was real, and not a dream. Lu Ming really came to the 9 Serenities demon realm, and she really saw Lu Ming. At the same time, the two of them walked towards each other, looking at each other from a distance. Xian Yanqing could no longer hold back the tears in his eyes, and they flowed down his cheeks continuously. Little Qing. Lu Ming reached out his hand and wiped away Xian Yanqing's tears. Lu Ming, you're finally here. Xian Yanqing threw himself into Lu Ming's arms. Lu Ming also hugged Xian Yanqing tightly, as if he wanted to pull her into his body and never let her go. Unknowingly, the two of them kissed for a long time, unwilling to separate. After a long time, their lips parted. Little Qing, let's leave here first. Lu Ming arrived. After the battle here, the Masha clan might come again at any time. Okay. Xian Yanqing nodded. Lu Ming held Xian Yanqing's little hand and flew in a random direction. After more than 100,000 miles, Lu Ming found a secret place, and the two of them entered the mountain river diagram. Grotto Heaven Treasure? Xian Yanqing blinked his big eyes. Okay, little Qing, heal your injuries first, Lu Ming said with concern. Xian Yanqing's shoulder was stabbed just now, and the injury was not light. Xian Yanqing nodded, sat cross-legged, and began to heal his injuries. After half a day, Xian Yanqing's injuries were completely healed. On a mountain peak in the mountain river diagram, the two of them sat side by side. Xian Yanqing's head leaned on Lu Ming's shoulder, and the two of them talked about their experiences during this period of time. The two of them had not seen each other for more than 3 years, and there was too much to talk about. Lu Ming talked about his experiences in the past few years, and Xian Yanqing's heart was in turmoil. Every time he heard that Lu Ming was in danger, Xian Yanqing would exclaim softly, worried about Lu Ming. Chapter 1146. When Lu Ming talked about how he came to the holy city to participate in the competition of the younger generation, and how he came to the 9 underworlds demon realm, Xian Yanqing's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. He said, Lu Ming, you have been deceived by them. 10,000 points, just like me, is very difficult to achieve. Then he looked at Lu Ming affectionately and said, Lu Ming, why are you so stupid? It's all because of me that you have to come here. Idiot, if I don't come to find you personally, how can I be at ease? By the way, when you came back from the 9 Dragons City, did you come here? Lu Ming asked. Yes. Xian Yanqing nodded and said, when I came back, Xie Qitian asked people to send me to the 9 underworlds demon realm. Unfortunately, although they know that my bloodline is inclined to the dark side, they don't know that my bloodline is the heavenly demon bloodline. In the 9 underworlds demon realm, I am like a fish in water. My cultivation speed is faster than the outside world. Moreover, I have awakened the 3rd bloodline. With the use of demon chi and demon stones, my cultivation speed is even faster. Speaking of this, Xian Yanqing's voice became cold, as if he was full of hatred towards the Xie family. Lu Ming's arm that was holding Xian Yanqing's arm tightened. It could be imagined that in these years, Xian Yanqing had been struggling and cultivating alone in the 9 underworlds demon realm. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such a cultivation. Thinking of this, Lu Ming's heart ached. Lu Ming, you are here. I am so happy. Xian Yanqing's voice whispered in Lu Ming's ear. Lu Ming turned his head slightly and looked at the beautiful face that was close to him. Feeling Xian Yanqing's soft breathing, he felt his heart throbbing. The beautiful face and the smile on his face seemed to be Lu Ming's everything. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and slowly ran his fingertips across the beautiful face, feeling every inch of Xian Yanqing's skin. Lu Ming slightly leaned his head forward and kissed those red lips that could make men go crazy. Those beautiful eyes were still open, looking at him and listening to Lu Ming's breathing. Lu Ming greedily demanded and entwined his fingers around Xian Yanqing's neck, Xian Yanqing's clothes and waist. His hand slowly entered Xian Yanqing's body, feeling every inch of warmth. Xian Yanqing's body started to tremble slightly. Then he let Lu Ming do whatever he wanted. Lu Ming hugged Xian Yanqing and slowly lay down on the bluestone on the mountain peak. His fingers moved gently, following the warm skin and touching the girl's skin. Lu Ming seemed to be savoring it carefully. The speed at which he moved his fingers was very slow, as if he wanted to use his touch to melt Xian Yanqing's body. Sliding his fingers across the smooth skin, Lu Ming's hand seemed to touch the soft curves. Following the curves, his hand climbed up. The towering curves were so smooth, and the skin there was so soft and full of elasticity, as if it could be crushed with a casual pinch. However, when Lu Ming climbed to the peak, his hand still couldn't help but clench. The soft and elastic part that was slightly deformed from the squeezing stimulated every cell in Lu Ming's body. It made his blood seem to boil, and his breathing became heavy. Ah! A soft sound like the sound of nature came out of Xian Yanqing's mouth, stimulating Lu Ming's blood even more, making his mouth suck even more greedily. Xian Yanqing's soft and beautiful eyes finally couldn't hold back their shyness and slowly closed, allowing Lu Ming to fiddle with them, quietly enjoying the blended love of water and milk. Spicy eyes, really spicy eyes. After an unknown period of time, a sudden shout interrupted the two of them. The two of them opened their eyes at the same time, and saw Dandan not far away, staring at the two of them with his eyes wide open. Xian Yanqing's face immediately turned red. Even his ears and neck were red. Continue. Don't worry about me, Dandan said leisurely when he saw the two of them looking at him. Scram! Lu Ming slapped out, and a palm print condensed from true energy blasted towards Dandan. Dandan was sent flying by Lu Ming's slap like a stone. Ah, Lu Ming, you're valuing your lover over your friends. No, you're looking down on your seniors. Dandan's voice came from afar. In the end, he turned into a black dot and disappeared in the air, flying far away. After the commotion caused by Dandan, the boiling blood of the two of them calmed down. You pervert! Xian Yanqing tidied up her messy clothes and said with a red face. Lu Ming chuckled and held Xian Yanqing's hand. He said, Xiaoqing, why did the Demon Temple clan besiege you? Because of a demon statue, Xian Yanqing said. Then, a demon statue appeared in her hand. The demon statue was small, only the size of a fist. However, it emitted a terrifying demon intent. This demon intent was domineering and domineering, as if it wanted to destroy the heavens and dominate the world. What a strong demon intent! Lu Ming was secretly shocked. It was just a piece of the demon statue, and it was already so terrifying. This demon statue was definitely a precious treasure to those who practiced diabolism, or the Masha clan. It was no wonder that so many powerful figures from the Masha clan had besieged Xian Yanqing. I got this demon statue from the Demon Steel Mountain, Xian Yanqing said. Then, she kept the demon statue, and the surrounding pressure disappeared. Xiaoqing, did you really enter the Demon Steel Mountain? I heard that it's extremely dangerous there. Those who entered all died. Although Lu Ming knew that Xian Yanqing was fine, he couldn't help but worry. I heard that the Demon Steel Mountain is indeed very dangerous. Many Demon Temple clan and human cultivators died there. However, I don't know why, but when I get close to the Demon Steel Mountain, I feel a strong throbbing in my heart. It's as if something on the Demon Steel Mountain is attracting me. That's why I took the risk and entered the Demon Steel Mountain. However, the strange thing is that I didn't encounter any danger when I entered the Demon Steel Mountain. Instead, I obtained an opportunity and broke through in my cultivation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to bring out this demon statue from the Demon Steel Mountain. Xian Yanqing said. You have this feeling too? What is it that's attracting you? Lu Ming was bewildered. Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming in astonishment and asked, Could it be that you have it too? That's right. When I got close to the Demon Steel Mountain, my second bloodline became hot and restless. It's as if something is attracting it. If I didn't control it, it would have appeared on its own. Lu Ming frowned slightly. He felt that this matter was inconceivable. Xiaoqing, what's in the Demon Steel Mountain? I don't know. I only walked around the periphery and didn't go deep. The Demon Steel Mountain was covered in fog, and I couldn't see clearly. I originally planned to study this demon statue before entering the Demon Steel Mountain, Xian Yanqing said. Then, the two of them discussed for a while, but still couldn't come to a conclusion. In the end, they decided to explore the Demon Steel Mountain. This was because Xian Yanqing had entered the Demon Steel Mountain without any danger. The two of them chatted for a while more before walking out of the mountain river diagram and looking at the Demon Steel Mountain in the distance. Chapter 1147. The two of them concealed their auras and approached the Devil Steel Mountain. Along the way, they felt the aura of the Devil Clan and went around them. The two of them were getting closer and closer to the Devil Steel Mountain. The closer they got, the more the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline in Lu Ming's body throbbed. Soon, the two of them were 100 miles away from the Devil Steel Mountain. There was already a faint black mist here. The two of them did not retreat and continued forward. 100 miles passed in the blink of an eye, and they entered the Devil Steel Mountain. Mo. Suddenly, a loud roar sounded in Lu Ming's mind. This voice was filled with a sense of lawlessness, but it also revealed a sense of helplessness and unwillingness. The black mist filled the area. With their cultivation, they could not see more than 20 meters around them. Moreover, there was a terrifying pressure on their bodies that made it difficult for them to fly. They could only land and walk forward. Little Qing, be careful. Lu Ming held Xian Yanqing's hand and walked forward carefully. Buzz! Lu Ming's spine was filled with blood-red light. The suppressing Hell Steel bloodline was throbbing more and more intensely. Lu Ming controlled the suppressing Hell Steel bloodline to prevent it from manifesting. The two of them walked for half a day and felt that they were already halfway up the mountain. They were getting closer and closer to the peak. The throbbing feeling came from the peak. Xian Yanqing also felt a strong attraction to this place, which caused her bloodline to throb. There are so many skeletons. Suddenly, Lu Ming saw many skeletons on the ground. The skeletons were not big, and they were obviously the skeletons of the Devil Clan. It was said that many members of the Devil Clan had died here. It seemed to be true. Moreover, the skeletons all had storage rings on their fingers. Xian Yanqing grabbed at the air, and a storage ring appeared in her hand. In the next moment, Xian Yanqing took out a pile of black stones from the storage ring. The stones were filled with dense demonic qi. This is a devil stone. It's very useful to those who practice the devil Dao. To me, it's even more useful than origin stones. Xian Yanqing explained. There are quite a few storage rings here. Perhaps they all have magic stones. Take them. When we leave this place in the future, they will be of great use to you. Lu Ming said. He reached out and sucked in the rings of holding and handed them over to Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing cultivated the demonic Dao. These demon stones were most suitable for Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing took them and put them away. Then, the two of them searched around and found many skeletons of the Masha clan. Of course, there were also skeletons of humans, but there were very few of them. Demon, devil, demon. At this point, the sound became louder and louder. This sound directly affected one's mind and did not enter one's ears. It was as if there was a peerless demon emperor shouting and roaring from above. The two of them continued to move forward. Along the way, they kept the storage rings of the skeletons of the Masha clan. Along the way, they collected more than 100 storage rings and a large number of magic stones. Putting everything else aside, the storage rings alone were worth a lot of money. After another half a day, the two of them finally arrived at the top of the mountain. Along the way, the two of them did not encounter any danger. This made the two of them secretly amazed. The Devil Steel Mountain was very dangerous. Those who entered would die. This could be seen from the skeletons of the Masha clan and the human skeletons that they saw along the way. However, their journey was calm and tranquil. Apart from the Masha clan's cries, there was no other sound. Buzz! When they arrived at the top of the mountain, Lu Ming's spine was filled with blood-red light. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was beating wildly. Even Lu Ming could not suppress it. With a loud rumble, the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline appeared and expanded rapidly. Buzz! At the top of the mountain in front of them, a terrifying rumble could be heard. Then they saw the black fog rolling and separating into two sides. The scenery in front of them was completely exposed. Seeing the scene in front of them, their hearts trembled violently. They were dumbfounded. There was also a stele in front of them. A stone stele. This stone stele was incomparably huge. It stood tall like a majestic mountain. There was only one big word on the stone stele. Stele. There was only one word at the top of the stone stele. It was uneven, as if it was not a complete stone stele. It seemed to be only a part of a stone stele. The stone steel was filled with an ancient aura. Its color looked very similar to Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel's bloodline. Buzz! Lu Ming's prison-suppressing steel flew out and stopped in front of the stone steel. The two of them vibrated continuously and emitted a bright light, as if they were responding to each other. Lu Ming, why do I feel that your bloodline and this stone steel are so similar? It's as if they are one. Xian Yanqing was extremely surprised. Lu Ming was also extremely shocked. This was because he felt that the stone steel gave him a very familiar feeling. He knew that the throbbing from before had originated from this stone steel. The two stone steels shook violently as blinding light filled the air. The experts of the Devil Temple clan, who were entrenched in the surroundings of the Devil Steel Mountain, also noticed it. The Devil Steel Mountain is acting strangely. Could it be that a peerless treasure has appeared? Dazzling light. A peerless treasure has appeared. Let's go and take a look. Numerous figures gathered towards the Devil Steel Mountain, each of them exuding boundless devil aura. They were all experts of the Devil Temple clan. The weakest of them was at the 5th level of the Spirit God Realm, and there were even 7th level Spirit God Realm experts. A group of Demon Sha clan members appeared 100 miles away from the Devil Steel Mountain. At this moment, the black mist on the Devil Steel Mountain had become very thin. They could clearly see the huge stone steel emitting a bright light. However, the Demon Sha clan members stopped there and did not dare to go any closer. The Devil Steel Mountain's ferocious reputation was not just for show. Those who entered would die. However, looking at the shining stone steel, the Demon Sha clan members could not help themselves. Now that the Devil Steel Mountain has changed, it might not be dangerous. That's right. I saw that human girl go in and bring out a devil statue. She's fine. It's time for the Devil Steel Mountain to appear. Shriveled voices sounded one after another. The eyes of the Demon Sha clan members were burning with passion. Charge! A group of Demon Sha clan members could not help but roar as they charged towards the Devil Steel Mountain. When they charged into the range of the Devil Steel Mountain, a voice sounded in their minds. Demon! 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 The demonic sound was filled with a terrifying destructive power. Some 5th level spiritual god and 6th level spiritual god realm Demon Sha clan members screamed as their bodies fell from the sky like dumplings in a pot. They fell to the ground without any signs of life. They were dead. At least 20 Demon Sha clan members had died in an instant. A few 7th level spiritual god realm Demon Sha clan members roared as they retreated frantically with blood flowing out of their 7 orifices. It can destroy souls. A 7th level spiritual god realm Demon Sha clan member roared as he retreated a few hundred miles. Chapter 1148. On the top of the demonic steel mountain, Lu Ming's suppressing prison steel bloodline resonated with the huge steel. At this moment, the tremors were getting more and more intense. Buzz! The huge steel let out a buzzing sound, and the entire mountain shook along with it. Huge rocks on the ground exploded as the steel slowly rose up. The steel rose up as if it wanted to follow the suppressing prison steel bloodline out of the mountain. Slowly, the steel rose up inch by inch. It seemed like a section of the steel was embedded into the mountain. Boom! Suddenly, a terrifying aura erupted from under the steel. This aura was extremely domineering, as if it could dominate the world. At the same time, a monstrous demonic aura spread out, as if a supreme demon was about to be born. Amidst the monstrous demonic aura, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing could vaguely see a tall figure under the steel. This person was a middle-aged man with a burly figure. His black hair draped over his shoulders, and his demonic aura was overwhelming. He looked like a demon god. The aura of a sovereign. This is a sovereign, a demon sovereign. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He could feel the majestic aura of a sovereign from this figure. This was the unique aura of a sovereign. Could it be that this steel is suppressing a sovereign, a demon sovereign? Lu Ming's mind raced, and he thought of many things. Ha ha ha, how many years has it been? I can finally escape. An excited roar came from the demonic figure's mouth, and a terrifying aura rushed out, attacking Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's 5-colored intent surrounded his body, and his true yuan surged. The dragon force burst out to resist this pressure. On the other hand, the heavenly demon bloodline appeared above Xian Yinqing's head, and demonic aura bloomed, blocking this aura. No, I can't let this demon sovereign come out. Otherwise, Xiaoqing and I won't be able to withstand a slap from him. Lu Ming's mind turned, and his eyes focused. His mind was completely immersed in the suppressing prison steel bloodline. Come back! Lu Ming roared in his heart. Bloody light spread out from his spine, and he used all his strength to control the suppressing prison steel bloodline. Wang! The prison suppressing steel's bloodline shook violently. Slowly, it was pulled back inch by Lu Ming. Come back! Get back here! Lu Ming kept roaring in his heart. The bloody light seemed to be on the verge of materializing, and his eyes were bloodshot. Whoosh! In the end, the prison-suppressing monument bloodline was pulled back by Lu Ming. It turned into a bloody light and flew into Lu Ming's spine, disappearing without a trace. Boom! The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was retracted. The light of the huge steel dimmed and fell down again. No! Beneath the stone tablet, a roar of unwillingness could be heard. With a loud boom, the huge stone tablet pressed down heavily, causing the entire mountain to shake violently. The monstrous demon might also disappeared in an instant. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing felt their bodies lighten as they exhaled deeply at the same time. The two of them looked at each other and saw the shock in each other's eyes. The two of them did not expect that there would be a demon king suppressed on the Devil Steel Mountain. It was no wonder that the Devil Temple clan members had died. It must be the demon king's doing. Lu Ming, the reason why I felt my bloodline throbbing and the strong attraction force is most likely because of the demon king. Xian Yinqing said in a low voice. That should be the case. Lu Ming nodded. Xian Yinqing felt it because of the demon king, while he felt it because of the huge stone tablet. It was a broken stone tablet. What is this stone tablet? Why is it resonating with the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline? Lu Ming had many questions in his heart. Lad, quickly use your bloodline and let me out. At this moment, a deep voice came from beneath the prison-suppressing steel. It was the Demon King. Senior, you are the Demon King, and the two of us are only low-level spiritual gods. If we let you out and you kill us with a single slap, wouldn't we be wronged? Lu Ming pondered for a moment before he spoke. Haha, since you know that I am the Demon King, why would I do such a thing? Since you saved me, you are my benefactor, and I will definitely repay you generously. The Demon King continued to speak from beneath the stone tablet. Even so, I still don't trust you. Lu Ming spoke bluntly. Lu Ming didn't dare to be careless when facing a monarch realm expert. Otherwise, he would be killed with a single slap, and that would be an injustice. There was silence beneath the stone tablet, and it seemed like the Demon King was thinking about what to say. After a short while, the voice sounded again. Lad, your bloodline should be the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline, right? I never expected that there would actually be someone who could awaken such a bloodline in the world. Lu Ming's eyes flashed, but he didn't speak. Lad, let me tell you something. This stone tablet before you is the real hell-suppressing steel, and it's the main body of your bloodline. The Demon King's voice shook Lu Ming's heart. What? This damaged stone tablet is the real hell-suppressing steel? Lu Ming's eyes suddenly opened wide while tempestuous waves arose in his heart, and he gazed at the enormous stone tablet with disbelief. Otherwise, why do you think your bloodline can resonate with this stone tablet? It's because they are one. The Demon King continued. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing were extremely astounded. According to legend, all bloodlines awakened by cultivators were traceable in the world, and they really existed. Some might have gone extinct during the primeval times and the ancient times, and some might even be found in the modern era. Lu Ming had thought that the hell-suppressing steel was an ancient artifact from the distant past, and he never expected that he would see its true form in the world. This made it difficult for him to calm down. According to legend, the hell-suppressing steel was a supreme divine artifact in the distant past. Later on, there was a great war, and it was shattered into several pieces. The stone tablet before you is a fragment of the hell-suppressing steel. The hell-suppressing steel suppresses all things in the world. If not for this steel, how could it have suppressed this emperor? The Demon King explained to Lu Ming, his voice brimming with unparalleled confidence. Thus, as long as you control your bloodline, you can take away this hell-suppressing steel. If your bloodline can fuse with the real hell-suppressing steel, you will obtain enormous benefits, and you will also obtain a supreme divine artifact. If you can gather all the other fragments of the hell-suppressing steel in the future, you can use this treasure to dominate the world. The Demon King continued, his words full of temptation. Lu Ming was truly tempted, and his eyes burned with passion. In the end, a bloodline was only a bloodline. It could be called an illusion, possessing part of the power of a real object. It could also be called a kind of inheritance. For example, a cultivator with a true dragon bloodline could comprehend a true dragon battle skill and borrow part of the true dragon's power. The stronger they were, the more power they could display. But in the end, it was not the real body, and it could not be as powerful as the real body. But with the help of the real body, it was a different story. Lu Ming had never imagined that he would encounter the true form of the hell-suppressing steel's bloodline. Now that he had encountered it, he truly did not want to miss it. Lu Ming furrowed his brows tightly. Various thoughts were running through his mind. Should he let it go or not? Chapter 1150. Seeing that Lu Ming seemed to be tempted, the Fiend Emperor continued. Furthermore, this girl's bloodline is extremely similar to mine. If I were to come out, I can pass on all my skills to her. Given her talent, it will be easy for her to become a king in the future. She might even surpass me in the future. The Demon Emperor continued to throw out temptations that were hard to resist. The mantle of a Demon Emperor was definitely a great temptation. Lu Ming, it's all up to you. Xian Yanqing grabbed Lu Ming's hand and said, Xiao Qing, I finally found you. How could I bring you along with me? I don't care about these worldly possessions. Lu Ming grabbed Xian Yanqing's hand and was about to leave. Come back, what are you doing? Don't you trust me? Am I Xiao Wan, the kind of person who goes back on his words? Seeing that Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing were about to leave, the Fiend Emperor panicked and shouted continuously. As soon as he said that, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing's bodies shook violently at the same time. There was a look of disbelief in their eyes. Xiao Wan? The Emperor of Chaotic Sky, Xiao Wan? How was this possible? The two turned around and glanced at the giant boulder. You're Xiao Wan. Xian Yanqing's eyes were filled with disbelief. Xiao Wan was a peerless figure of the Imperial Xie clan 30,000 years ago. He was also the taboo of the Imperial Xie clan. He had single-handedly changed the situation of the Middle Continent, from the ancient sacred dynasty to the current state of affairs. It was all because of Xiao Wan. He had a mutated bloodline of the Xie clan, just like Xian Yanqing. However, how is it possible that someone from 30,000 years ago was still alive? That's right, I'm Xiao Wan, the Emperor of Chaotic Sky Xiao Wan. Girl, your bloodline is very similar to mine. You must have a mutated bloodline of the Xie clan, right? Hee. The Demon Emperor let out a meaningful laugh. Impossible. As far as I know, a dominator can only live for 10 to 20,000 years. If you're Xiao Wan, how could you still be alive? Lu Ming shouted. Just now, when the stone steel floated up, he had clearly sensed the aura of life, and not a wisp of imprint, which meant that Xiao Wan was still alive. How could an emperor live for 30,000 years? This is all thanks to the prison-suppressing steel. It's suppressing my body and slowing down the flow of my life force by several times. 30,000 years is equivalent to 10,000 years for me. If I were to be suppressed for another 30,000 years, I would really be gone. The Demon Emperor explained with a sigh, but Lu Ming's eyes were still flickering. Lu Ming, what this person said must be true. I can sense that this person is of the same bloodline as me. Our bloodlines are very similar. Xian Yanqing whispered to Lu Ming. Was the other party really Xiao Wan? The two of them still found it hard to calm down. It was said that when Xiao Wan rebelled, he fought a great battle with the royal family. The battle caused the heavens to collapse and the earth to rend. Xiao Wan killed countless experts from the royal family. In the end, Xiao Wan was still defeated and killed by the royal family's experts. Could it be that Xiao Wan was not dead, but was suppressed here? No one in the royal family could kill me. They could only use the prison-suppressing steel to suppress me here, hoping that time would wear me down. But they did not expect that although the prison-suppressing steel suppressed me, it also slowed down the flow of my life force by several times. Kid, you and this girl from the Xie family must have been exiled here by the Xie family of the royal family. I can imagine that after what happened to me, the Xie family of the royal family must be 10 times more cautious of those with foreign bloodlines. I find it strange that they did not kill you directly. The demon emperor continued. Lu Ming and Xie Nianqing remained silent. Do you want to be exiled to the demon realm for the rest of your life? As long as you let me out, I can take you and break out of the 9 underworlds. Don't worry, I Xiao Wan am a man of my word. I will repay kindness with kindness and revenge with revenge. The demon emperor continued. Lu Ming and Xie Nianqing were very tempted by his words. It was even more tempting than obtaining the prison-suppressing steel, or the demon emperor's inheritance. The biggest problem they were facing now was how to get out. Obviously, Xie Qitian wanted to exile them here, and trap them in the demon realm for the rest of their lives. But Lu Ming still had many things to do. De was besieging the Yin and Yang mountain. His family and friends were all there. He had to get out. Okay, I'll let you out. In the end, Lu Ming decided to take a gamble. This was the only chance now. Okay, you just need to control the prison-suppressing steel bloodline and put it away. That's all. The demon emperor said. Buzz. Lu Ming did not hesitate. With a thought, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared. As soon as the prison-suppressing steel bloodline appeared, it had a strong reaction with the huge steel. It grew rapidly, vibrated, and emitted a bright light. Put it away, Lu Ming shouted. He controlled the prison-suppressing steel bloodline to put the huge steel away. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The huge steel kept vibrating. The word steel on it was shining. It resonated with the word steel on the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. It was almost identical. Whether it was the strokes or the aura, it was the same. Lu Ming was sure that this was the real body of the prison-suppressing steel. It was a fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. The fragment of the prison-suppressing steel slowly floated up and rose into the air. Below, the demonic qi filled the sky. The burly figure appeared again. Vast demonic qi spread between heaven and earth. Put it away, Lu Ming shouted. The fragment of the prison-suppressing steel vibrated and flew up into the sky with a boom. But below, the demonic shadow flew up with the prison-suppressing steel and disappeared into it. A huge demonic shadow was trapped in the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. What's going on? Lu Ming was a little surprised. Sigh, I've been suppressed by the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel for too long. My demonic body is almost destroyed, and my demonic qi is almost exhausted. My demonic qi and the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel have almost merged into one. Even if the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel leaves the ground, it's still suppressing me. I can't escape unless my cultivation recovers to the monarch realm. The demonic emperor Xiao Wan sighed. I see. Then how are you going to help us fight our way out of the abyss? Lu Ming asked. That's simple. You just have to merge the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel with your bloodline and put it into your spine. This fragment of the prison-suppressing steel will be under your initial control. As long as you withdraw the suppressive force, I can escape from the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. However, you can't be too far away from the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. Otherwise, you'll still be suppressed by the prison-suppressing steel. Xiao Wan explained. Lu Ming nodded. He started to control the prison-suppressing steel bloodline and merged it with the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. After a while, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline merged with the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. At this time, the fragment of the prison-suppressing steel shrunk rapidly and merged with the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. One could clearly see that the lower part of the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline was shining brightly, as if it was real. It occupied about 1/3 of the area, while the upper 2/3 still looked unreal. This was the real fragment of the prison-suppressing steel. There was no mistake. Withdraw. Chapter 1151. Following this, Lu Ming summoned the prison-suppressing steel bloodline again. If I use the bloodline fusion now and turn into the prison-suppressing steel, its power will be shocking. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He could sense a vast power emanating from the prison-suppressing monument's bloodline. The prison-suppressing steel bloodline's grade didn't increase. It was still at the 7th level of the divine grade, but Lu Ming could feel that its power was shocking. If he used the bloodline fusion, it would be as powerful as a 9th level divine grade bloodline. My cultivation is still too weak. I can't fully unleash the power of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. As my cultivation increases, I'll be able to unleash even more power. Lu Ming had many thoughts, and a smile appeared on his face. This way, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline fusion would become his strongest trump card. I wonder if the prison-suppressing heaven skill will be more powerful. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. He could see that Xiao Wan's figure was still at the bottom of the prison-suppressing steel. Lu Ming's consciousness sank into the prison-suppressing steel bloodline and adjusted the suppressing power of the prison-suppressing steel bloodline towards Xiao Wan. Wang. The prison-suppressing steel shook and Xiao Wan's figure stepped out of the prison-suppressing steel and appeared in the air. Boom! A vast demonic aura burst out and pierced through the clouds. Ha ha ha, I'm finally out. Xiao Wan laughed. His long hair was loose, and his eyebrows were sharp. One could tell that he was a handsome man when he was young, but now he seemed to have gone mad. Lu Ming could understand. After being suppressed for 30,000 years, it was already good enough that he didn't go mad. After a while, Xiao Wan finally calmed down. He looked at Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing and said, "Let's go. I'll bring you out." A surge of demonic energy swept Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing. Xiao Wan stepped out and appeared outside the demonic steel mountain. Many demonic temple clansmen looked at them in shock. "I happen to have some tonics that can help me recover some of my strength," said Xiao Wan coldly. In the next instant, a terrifying demonic qi exploded from Xiao Wan's body and enveloped all of the Demon Sha clan. "Not good, let's go. Ah, save me." Shrill screams could be heard from the demonic aura. Lu Ming saw many 5th level and 6th level spirit gods of the Masha clan being unable to put up any resistance. They turned into ashes one after another, turning into pure energy that was absorbed by Xiao Wan. Xiao Wan's body was like a bottomless abyss that constantly absorbed the energy. The Masha clansmen at the 7th level of the spirit god realm were still able to resist for a while. But as Xiao Wan took a step forward, they exploded in the air and turned into energy that was absorbed by Xiao Wan. Xiao Wan's skin kept wriggling, and his aura also became a little stronger. It's a pity that these Demon Temple clan members are too weak. My immortal demon body has only recovered a little. It's still far from my peak. Xiao Wan sighed. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing were secretly shocked. Xiao Wan was indeed the demon emperor that shook the world. He was really terrifying. After being suppressed for 30,000 years, he had just come out and his strength was already very shocking. "We can't stay here for long. I'm afraid that the Imperial Xie clan will soon find out. Now let's kill our way out." Xiao Wan's eyes were filled with cold killing intent. He wrapped Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing with his demonic qi and stepped out. His speed was terrifyingly fast as he rushed towards the exit of the demon realm. In just a short moment, they had crossed an unknown distance. The city that was the exit of the demon realm was already in sight. Above the city, there was a light shield that enveloped the entire city. Looking from the sky, there were experts guarding the city. In an instant, Xiao Wan appeared above the city with Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing and slapped down with his palm. A terrifying palm print bombarded the light shield. The light shield shook violently, and a hole was blasted open. Xiao Wan took a step forward and rushed in. "Who's there? Shit, a devil has intruded." Numerous loud roars resounded in the city as numerous powerful auras rose up and charged towards Xiao Wan. So many experts. Lu Ming was secretly shocked when he sensed the aura. Those auras were extremely powerful, overbearing and terrifying. Many of them were existences at the 5th or 6th level of the spirit god realm. There were even quite a few existences at the 7th level of the spirit god realm and above. "Become my tonics." Xiao Wan's eyes were icy cold as he blasted out with his palm. A group of spirit god realm experts were blasted apart and transformed into surging energy that surged into Xiao Wan's body. His aura grew stronger and stronger. Shrill cries resounded incessantly as experts were killed one after another. Shit, he's too strong. Those experts turned pale with fright and retreated madly. You're courting death. At this moment, a few terrifying auras rose up from the depths of the city, and a few figures instantly appeared in front of them. They're so strong. They've surpassed the 8th level of the spirit god realm. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. The few people that appeared later were absolutely terrifying. Their auras were so strong that they were at the 8th level of the spirit god realm and above. 2 of their auras were vast and unfathomable. 2 9th level spirit gods, and 2 perfection stage spirit gods. Hee. Xiao Wan sneered as he charged over. Boundless devil chi condensed into a saber that slashed towards them. The other party erupted with powerful combat strength as well, and terrifying attacks rained down towards Xiao Wan. The entire city shook and emitted dazzling light, as numerous grand formations were activated. If it wasn't for these grand formations, the city would have been blasted apart. Suddenly, a shrill cry resounded as a 9th level spirit god realm expert's head was chopped off by Xiao Wan. After that, his spirit god flew out and was swept by devil chi before being absorbed by Xiao Wan. Xiao Wan's aura grew even stronger. The expressions of the remaining 3 people changed drastically. They actually didn't dare block Xiao Wan's attack, and retreated with extreme speed. Xiao Wan didn't pursue them, and charged towards the exit with Lu Ming and Xiao Wan. Where do you think you're going? A vast voice resounded as an enormous palm print condensed into form in the sky. It was as large as a mountain and suffused with a profound aura. That aura was much stronger than the concept of heaven and earth. A prime! Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. A prime had made a move. A prime was actually considered a perfection stage spirit god, but a prime was already half a step into the martial emperor realm, and had some of the power of a martial emperor. His combat strength was much stronger than other perfection stage spirit gods. Xiao Wan's face turned solemn as a prime made a move. The devil saber in his hand emitted a terrifying demonic aura. Wan Tian Devil Saber. Xiao Wan slashed out with his saber, and the sky was split into 2 halves. The terrifying black saber light slashed onto the enormous palm. Boom! A shocking explosion resounded as the enormous palm was split apart by the devil saber. However, Xiao Wan's figure also retreated rapidly. A white-haired old man stepped out in front of him. The aura of a prime was clearly displayed from his body. What kind of demonic being dares to barge into this place? The white-haired old man spoke. But he was stunned before he could finish his sentence. His eyes widened as he stared at Xiao Wan. His eyes were filled with extreme fear, shock and disbelief. How is this possible? Chapter 1152. White-haired sovereign was completely stunned when he saw Xiao Wan. He widened his eyes in shock and forgot to attack. Xiao Wan took the opportunity to lead Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing to the exit. Several experts tried to stop them, but they were all slapped away by Xiao Wan. Xiao Wan led Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing into the light gate and disappeared. White-haired sovereign only came back to his senses when he saw Xiao Wan and Lu Ming disappear. Sovereign, who is that man? Why is he so powerful? An expert flew to white-haired sovereign and asked. They were puzzled. White-haired sovereign could have stopped Xiao Wan, but he stopped at the critical moment. I have seen a portrait of this man. He is the divine lord of Wan Tian, Xiao Wan. White-haired sovereign said solemnly. What? The others widened their eyes in disbelief. Go after him. White-haired sovereign shouted and chased after Xiao Wan. The surroundings shook, and Lu Ming and the others appeared from another light gate. This light gate was the entrance to the holy city. Kill! Xiao Wan charged upward as soon as he appeared. Demonic chi billowed as he broke through all the barriers at the entrance. Xiao Wan broke through all the barriers, and finally rushed out of the ground and into the sky. Rip! Xiao Wan tore the space apart, and led Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing into the space crack and disappeared. At this moment Xie Qitian, who was sitting cross-legged in the center of the holy city, suddenly opened his eyes. There was a look of surprise in his eyes. What a strong demonic chi and demonic power. This is the entrance to the 9 underworlds. Did something happen there? Xie Qitian murmured. He then got up and took a step forward. The space cracked automatically, and his figure disappeared. The next moment, he appeared in the sky above the entrance to the 9 underworlds. At that moment, the white-haired utmost exalted was rushing out in a hurry. He just so happened to run into Xie Qitian. Sacred Emperor, something bad has happened. White-haired sovereign said in a panic. What's the matter? Xie Qitian frowned. He had a bad premonition. What could make a supreme martial artist so flustered? Holy Emperor, it's Xiao Wan. I saw Xiao Wan. The white-haired paragon said. What? Xie Qitian's eyes widened, and he looked horrified. What did you say? You said that the person who rushed out of the 9 underworlds was Xiao Wan, the divine lord of chaotic skies? Xie Qitian asked several times, which showed how terrified he was. They look exactly the same. I don't know if it's real or not. The white-haired paragon said. Let's go and take a look. Even though Xie Qitian was a saint emperor, and would not change his expression in the face of trouble, after hearing that it was Xiao Wan, he lost his sense of propriety, and became extremely anxious. Xiao Wan was a taboo in the imperial Xie family. Back then, the imperial Xie family dominated the central continent, and even the divine wilderness continent. They were extremely prosperous, and had as many experts as there were clouds in the sky. However, because of Xiao Wan, their strength had plummeted, and their strength had declined greatly. Now if Xiao Wan really appeared, with the current strength of the imperial family, how could they fight against him? Xie Qitian hurriedly entered the 9 underworlds, and tore the space apart. Soon, he arrived at the Demon Steel Mountain. Standing in the air above the Demon Steel Mountain, and looking at the empty Demon Steel Mountain, Xie Qitian's body emitted a terrifying aura. 30,000 years. How could he still be alive after 30,000 years? Xie Qitian muttered to himself. Whoosh, whoosh. The space fluctuated, and 2 old men appeared beside Xie Qitian. Their vast rulers' might filled the air. Near the Demon Steel Mountain, there were some scattered Demon Sha clan experts. When they felt the terrifying aura in the sky, they all fled for their lives. The demon steel that suppressed Xiao Wan is gone. Could it be that Xiao Wan is still alive? How could he be alive after 30,000 years? An old divine lord said with a trembling voice. There was a trace of shock in his voice. They knew about the strange phenomenon on the Demon Steel Mountain before, but they did not pay much attention to it. They thought that it was just a trace of Xiao Wan's remaining demonic consciousness. After all, how could an emperor live for 30,000 years without dying? It seemed to go against the rules of heaven and earth. They did not know that the steel that suppressed Xiao Wan was the prison-suppressing steel. They also did not know that the prison-suppressing steel had slowed down the speed of Xiao Wan's life. Xiao Wan is simply heaven-defying. He can't be judged by common sense. Moreover, the guard said that he brought Lu Ming and Yinqing with him. This must be related to them. Xie Qitian said. His voice was filled with coldness. Your Majesty, what do you plan to do? An old divine lord asked. Even if Xiao Wan is still alive, he can't be unharmed after being suppressed for 30,000 years. He must have lost a lot of his vitality and strength. Otherwise, with Xiao Wan's personality, he wouldn't be in such a hurry to escape. Please use the Tianji apparatus and lock onto Xiao Wan. No, lock onto Lu Ming's location. At the same time, spread the message to all overlord forces to kill Lu Ming. Those who succeed will be rewarded with a tribulation heavenly treasure. At this moment, Xie Qitian had regained his composure and regained the demeanor of a divine lord. At first, he wanted to say Xiao Wan, but then he changed his tone and said Lu Ming. He had a vague feeling that this matter must have something to do with Lu Ming. In the past, Xian Yinqing had been in the 9 underworlds for so long, and nothing had happened. However, Lu Ming had only been in there for a short while, and such a big mess had happened. He didn't believe that it was a coincidence. Yes, Your Majesty. The 2 old divine lords bowed. Xiao Wan took Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing and tore through space. After 7 or 8 times, Xiao Wan stopped. His breath was weak. I've been suppressed for 30,000 years, and my vitality is greatly damaged. My devil body almost collapsed. And I don't have much strength left. The supplements I absorbed before were too weak, and now they're almost used up. I can't help you anymore. Xiaowan sighed. Senior, how can you recover? Lu Ming asked. I need supplements. I can naturally recover by killing experts. If I can kill a divine lord, I might be able to recover my strength. Xiaowan smiled. Lu Ming was speechless. Kill a divine lord? Forget it. He didn't want to die. Of course there are other ways. Although I was suppressed back then, I still have a backup plan. Take me to the border between the central continent and the east continent. I have a backup plan there. If I can recover some of my strength when I get there, I will be able to protect myself by then. Xiaowan said. Lu Ming nodded. It was normal for someone like Xiaowan to have a backup plan. Then, Xiaowan told Lu Ming an address, and turned into a beam of light. He disappeared from Lu Ming's spine, and entered the fragments of the prison-suppressing steel. Let's go. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing looked at each other, and flew toward the east. But not long after, the two suddenly stopped. Chapter 1153. Oh no, is this the divine secret apparatus? Xian Yinqing cried out in alarm, bewildered. Divine secret apparatus? What's that? Lu Ming looked at the ball of light above his head and frowned. How was he going to travel with such a big ball of light above his head? At this time, Xie Qitian's figure reappeared. He looked at the sky and sighed. Sure enough, the imperial family used the divine secret apparatus. Senior, what's the divine secret apparatus? Lu Ming asked. You should know about the divine secret chamber of commerce, right? Xie Qitian said. Lu Ming nodded and said. It's said that the divine secret chamber of commerce is controlled by the imperial Xie family. That's right. The divine secret chamber of commerce was established by the imperial Xie family. Their purpose is to obtain information from all over the world. They use the divine secret apparatus to gain insight into many things that others don't know. At the same time, the divine secret apparatus has another function, which is to pursue and capture. As long as they can grasp someone's aura and activate the divine secret apparatus, they can condense a projection of the divine secret apparatus above that person's head and find that person's location. Now, the imperial family has activated the divine secret apparatus. The divine secret apparatus's projection will emit a kind of divine secret force field. As long as an inscriber refines a disk array that can sense the divine secret force field, they can sense the approximate location of the divine secret apparatus's projection and lock onto your location. I'm afraid it won't be long before you are found. Xiaowan said. Is it really that magical? Lu Ming frowned. He channeled the true yuan in his body and threw out a few punches. A few fist auras soared into the sky and pierced through space, but they were completely useless against the projection of the heavenly secrets apparatus. They simply passed through the projection. It's useless. The divine secret apparatus's projection can't be destroyed unless the other party stops the divine secret apparatus. The divine secret apparatus's projection will always be there. Xiaowan said. I don't believe it. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He formed a seal with his hands and two light gates appeared in the sky. The Divine Gate 9 Seals Sealing Gate. The two light gates landed on both sides of the divine secret apparatus's projection, emitting a bright light. Under the light of the sealing gate, the divine secret apparatus's projection dimmed and slowly shrunk. This is 9 seals of the divine gate? Xiaowan's eyes. Bang! Bang! In the sky, the projection of the celestial secrets apparatus that was about to dim suddenly shone brightly, and the 2 sealed doors exploded. The 9 seals of the divine gate are useless. Lu Ming frowned. I didn't expect you to have mastered the divine gate 9 seals. This is the ultimate technique of the sky sealing sovereign. With the divine gate 9 seals, you should be able to seal the divine secret instrument's projection for a period of time. However, your cultivation is too weak, so you can't seal it. How about this? Teach me the divine gate 9 seals. Once I comprehend it, I'll be able to seal the divine secret instrument's projection for a period of time, and buy us some time. Xiaowan suggested. All right. Lu Ming agreed without a second thought. It was just a secret technique. So what if he taught it to Xiaowan? As long as it could solve their current predicament. At that moment, Lu Ming gave the jade talisman that recorded the 9 seals to Xiaowan. Xiaowan's eyes lit up. He didn't expect Lu Ming to be so decisive. This kid will definitely be a top figure in the future. Xiaowan thought to himself. Alright, keep flying east. As long as you keep moving, it'll make it harder for the other party to find you, Xiaowan said. With that, Xiaowan entered the fragments of the prison-suppressing steel. Little Qing, you enter the mountain river diagram. Lu Ming looked at Xianyanqing. Xianyanqing nodded. She also understood that it would be easier for Lu Ming to move alone. With a flash of light, Xianyanqing entered the mountain river diagram. Lu Ming took a step forward and continued flying toward the east. Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps to travel. He was as fast as a flash of light. Moreover, Lu Ming specifically flew in remote directions. On this day, the entire middle continent was shaken. The royal Xia family sent a message to all the major forces in the world. Not only the overlords, but also the second-tier forces sent a message. The royal family activated the heavenly secret instrument and condensed a heavenly secret projection on Lu Ming's body. They called on all major forces to kill Lu Ming. The royal family would reward those who killed Lu Ming with the Tribulation Transcendence heavenly treasure. As soon as the news came out, Middle Continent was in an uproar. The royal family activated the divine secret instrument, and their target was Lu Ming. If they remembered correctly, didn't Lu Ming enter the abyss after the million-year sacrifice? Many people who knew the inside story knew that the score Xie Qitian set for Lu Ming was to lock him up for the rest of his life. It was impossible for him to reach that score. But now, the royal family activated the divine secret instrument to kill Lu Ming. How did Lu Ming escape? Most importantly, the treasure rewarded by the royal family was a heavenly treasure. This shocked all the major forces, regardless of whether they were overlords or second-tier forces. Then they became greedy. The royal Xia family was actually willing to give out a heavenly treasure? As the name suggested, a heavenly treasure could help a martial artist transcend the tribulation. A martial artist would face many tribulations along the way. Putting other tribulations aside, just the heavenly tribulations alone were not few. There would be a heavenly tribulation when one broke through to the martial king realm. There would be a heavenly tribulation when one broke through to the spirit god realm. There would also be a heavenly tribulation when one broke through to the emperor realm. There were many tribulations, and each one was more terrifying than the last. How many people could survive them? On the other hand, a heavenly treasure could help one transcend the tribulation. It could be used regardless of one's cultivation level. Using a heavenly treasure to break through to the martial king realm could be said to have a 100% success rate. Breaking through to the spirit god realm could also increase the success rate by 50%. Breaking through to the emperor realm could also increase the success rate of transcending the tribulation. How tempting was that? Which force? Which expert wouldn't be tempted? Moreover, a heavenly treasure could be used repeatedly. Once one person used it, another person could use it too. It was too important for a major force. How many experts could it increase? The most fatal temptation was for the supreme martial artists. The next step for supremes was to break through to the monarch realm. A heavenly treasure to transcend the tribulation was a fatal temptation to them. Immediately, the overlord forces and second-tier forces refined formation discs that could sense the heavenly secret force field to sense Lu Ming's location. Lu Ming flew all the way. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. He didn't know how far he had flown. There was a projection of the heavenly secret instrument above his head, so he naturally couldn't take the teleportation formation. He could only rely on himself to fly. Oh no, Lu Ming, there's a powerful existence approaching from the north. It's a perfection stage spirit god. Suddenly, Xiaowan's voice sounded in Lu Ming's ears. A perfection stage spirit god? Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. With his current cultivation, he would only die if he encountered a perfection stage spirit god. He wouldn't have the slightest chance of resisting. I'll take you away. Xiaowan's figure appeared. and he used his remaining strength to tear open space. He took Lu Ming into space and disappeared. Chapter 1154. Somewhere far away, the space cracked open and Xiao Wan stepped out of the crack with Lu Ming. At this moment, the demonic qi on Xiao Wan's body had dimmed. Lu Ming, I've done my best and exhausted the last of my strength. I can't tear the space apart anymore. It's up to you now, Xiao Wan said. Lu Ming nodded and frowned slightly. He was thinking of finding a place to hide in the mountain river diagram and wait for Xiao Wan to complete the Divine Gate 9 seals. He didn't believe that the Divine Secret Instrument's projection could still appear in the mountain river diagram. At this moment, Xiao Wan's gaze flickered. He looked in one direction and sneered. I didn't expect that even some 5th and 6th level spirit gods would join in the fun. Lu Ming, you should have no problem dealing with 5th and 6th level spirit gods, right? Get me some tonics. After saying that, Xiao Wan entered Lu Ming's body and disappeared. Lu Ming stood in the air and waited quietly. Swoosh, swoosh. Not long after, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. Rays of sword light pierced through the void and flew towards him. In a flash, the 5 rays of sword light dissipated and 5 figures stood around Lu Ming, surrounding Lu Ming in the middle. There were old men and middle-aged men among the 5 figures, but they all wore the same white robe and carried a long sword on their back. The Sky Martial Sword Sect. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a trace of cold killing intent. Among the 5, there were 2 6th level Spirit God Realm and 3 5th level Spirit God Realm. They were all from the Sky Martial Sword Sect. Lu Ming knew that this territory was most likely the Sky Martial Sword Sect's territory. Otherwise, how could he encounter 5 people from the Sky Martial Sword Sect at once? Ha ha ha, we're the first to find it. What great luck. A middle-aged man laughed loudly. His aura was violent, and his 6th level Spirit God Realm aura was revealed. His eyes were filled with blazing flames as he looked at Lu Ming. If he killed Lu Ming, he would get a Tribulation Transcendence heavenly treasure. At the thought of this, his heart trembled with excitement. Although this person is young, he can't be underestimated. I heard that in the Holy City, this person displayed a terrifying battle prowess that was second only to Long Chun. An old man at the 5th level of the Spirit God Realm spoke with a slightly solemn expression. What are you afraid of? No matter how strong he is, he's only at the 3rd level of the Spirit God Realm. We have 2 6th level Spirit Gods and 3 5th level Spirit Gods here. Can he still overturn the heavens? The robust middle-aged man from before said confidently. Are you done with your nonsense? At this moment, Lu Ming spoke out coldly, causing the 5 men from the Celestial Martial Sword Sect to be stunned as they looked at Lu Ming in bewilderment. If you're done with your nonsense, I'll send you on your way. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Ming's aura erupted. 8 strands of dragon force instantly erupted from his body. He took a step forward and charged towards a 5th layer Spirit God expert, striking out with his palm. Rip. This palm strike was terrifyingly powerful. The space under the palm shattered like tofu. The terrifying aura completely enveloped the opponent. That man's eyes widened as he revealed a terrified expression. However, he didn't even have the chance to scream before he was torn apart by Lu Ming's terrifying power. Blood splattered across the sky. Damn it. You're courting death. How dare you sneak attack us? The other 4 men were slightly stunned. Then they roared and unsheathed their battle swords. A vast sword aura soared into the sky. Kill! Lu Ming roared as the 3rd bloodline appeared above his head. A strand of energy poured into Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's body was covered in a bloody light as his killing intent swept out like a tide. A drop of blood turned into a bloody battle sword. Lu Ming held it in his hand and slashed out. Whoosh! A bloody light flashed and slashed towards the 6th layer Spirit God middle-aged man. Shrouded by the endless murderous intent, the middle-aged burly man shuddered. His eyes were filled with horror. He tried his best to slash with his sword, but the sword gleam collapsed under Lu Ming's blood-colored sword gleam. The blood-colored sword gleam slashed the middle-aged burly man's glabella. Poochie! The middle-aged man was directly slashed into 2. Even the Spirit God didn't escape. The remaining 3 men were terrified when they saw this scene, and they were almost scared out of their wits. How could Lu Ming be so terrifying? A 6th-layer spirit god expert was killed with a single sword strike. There was an entire 3 layers of difference between them. Flee! 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 At this moment, they only had a single thought in their hearts, and that was to flee. The further they fled, the better. This was a god of death. The 3 of them transformed into 3 sword lights, and fled in 3 different directions with all their might. Kill! Lu Ming took a step forward, and executed the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps, to charge towards a 5th-layer spirit god expert. He caught up to this person in an instant, and slashed out with his sword. This person let out a roar of despair, and resisted with all his might. However, it was useless. The sword light descended and destroyed everything. Pooh! Blood splattered as a head flew off into the distance. At the same time, sword chi overflowed, and minced this person's spirit god. With such a delay, the other 2 had already flown a long distance away. Don't even think about leaving. Go! Lu Ming waved his hand, and the bloody sword in his hand transformed into a bloody light that charged towards a 5th-layer spirit god expert with extreme speed. On the other hand, Lu Ming executed the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps, and chased after the remaining 6th-layer spirit god expert. Lu Ming's figure was like a flowing light, and he caught up to his opponent in just a few breaths of time. Lu Ming, you've killed us. You'll die as well. The exalts of my Sky Martial Sword sect have already moved out. You can't escape. This person roared, and his eyes were filled with despair. He executed the bloodline fusion, and transformed into a sword, wanting to fight to the death. Even if he died, he wanted to make Lu Ming pay a price. Unfortunately, his thoughts were destined to fail. Lu Ming executed the hell-suppressing heaven art, and struck out with his palm. Ever since the hell-suppressing steel's bloodline had merged with a section of the real hell-suppressing steel, the power of the hell-suppressing heaven art had clearly increased when he executed it. Using the same amount of true yuan, and the same level of the hell-suppressing heaven art, the power was much stronger than before. Coupled with the eruption of 8 dragon energies, Lu Ming's strength was truly terrifying at this moment. He was much stronger than when he fought the various geniuses in the Holy City. If he were to fight the underworld child now, Lu Ming was confident that he could defeat him in a few moves. Boom! The palm suppressed everything, as if it possessed boundless power. It pressed down on the sky and chopped down on the sword that this person had transformed into. Under the palm, the sword was shattered into pieces, and the underworld child returned to his human form, and coughed up blood. Under the second palm, the underworld child's body was torn apart. Whoosh! A blood-colored sword light flew over, and floated above Lu Ming's head again, turning into a drop of blood. Clearly, the 5th-level spirit god cultivator was also killed by the blood-colored sword. The 5 Sky Martial Sword sect experts were all killed. Demonic chi spread out as Xiao Wan's figure appeared. He looked at Lu Ming in surprise and said, "Your battle strength is not bad. I didn't expect that a genius like you would be born after 30,000 years. If you were in the same era as me, you could be my opponent." Lu Ming's battle strength surprised Xiao Wan. Chapter 1155. Senior, you're flattering me. Lu Ming said. Haha, there's no need to be humble. These people will become my nourishment. They can at least help me recover some of my strength. Xiao Wan laughed, and turned into a cloud of demonic chi, which wrapped around the bodies of the Tianwu sword sex experts that Lu Ming had killed, and absorbed them all. Xiao Wan had practiced some kind of cultivation technique that was extremely overbearing. It could directly absorb a cultivator's essence, and turn it into his own essence. It was comparable to the devouring power of the 9 dragons. Of course, Xiao Wan's cultivation was unfathomable. He was considered an expert even among the emperors, so it was normal for him to have various means. Following this, Xiao Wan did the same thing, and absorbed the remaining 4 cultivators. The demonic chi on Xiao Wan's body wriggled, and his aura became stronger. 5th and 6th layer spirit gods are too weak. They can only recover a little, but it's better than nothing. Lu Ming, there's a 7th layer spirit god coming from the east. Hee, they're good nourishment. Xiao Wan laughed coldly. Although Xiao Wan's aura was weak and his strength was far from his peak, his spiritual sense was still terrifying. It was at the level of a martial emperor, so he could sense the situation from far away. Therefore, he could sense the enemy in advance. 7th layer spirit god? Then let's kill them. A sharp glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He guessed that the Imperial Xia clan must have promised a valuable reward. Otherwise, why would these people who were not from the Imperial Xia clan be so eager to kill him? However, if they wanted to kill him, they would have to be prepared to be killed instead. Lu Ming took a step forward and headed east. At this moment, in the east of Lu Ming, there were 2 burly men in their 50s or 60s who were flying toward Lu Ming. Both of them were wearing white robes and carrying battle swords on their backs. It was obvious that they were the experts of the Tianwu sword sect. One of them was holding a formation plate in his hand. There was a flickering light on the formation plate not far from them. We're almost there. Lu Ming is over there. He's not dead yet. Haha, looks like we're the first ones to find him. The two of them smiled at each other, their eyes burning with passion. Why is he coming toward us? Suddenly one of them spoke. They realized that the light on the formation plate was rapidly approaching them. Haha, he's courting death. He doesn't know we're here. Haha, it seems like God's helping us. The other person laughed. Aware of Xiao Wan's matter was too serious. The royal Xia family did not divulge the news. Only a few people in the royal Xia family knew about it. The royal Xia family only told Lu Ming to the public. The two of them chatted as they flew. Not long after, a black-robed young man arrived in front of them. The gazes of the 3 men collided. However, to the surprise of the 2 Tianwu sword sect powerhouses, Lu Ming did not seem surprised to see them. Instead, there was a trace of murderous intent in his eyes. To be. He shook his head and threw the bad premonition out of his mind. Xiao Wan was only a junior at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. No matter how strong and heaven-defying he was, how could he surmount 4 levels of cultivation to fight them who were at the 7th level of the spirit god realm? They'd lived for a few thousand years, yet they'd never heard of a genius that could surmount 4 levels of cultivation to battle a 7th level spirit god at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. How could anyone that could attain the 7th level of the spirit god realm be weak? All of them were extremely formidable existences, and all of them were geniuses when they were young. They felt that they were overthinking things. Let's attack together and kill him. At that time, we'll split the rewards equally. One of them spoke. Even though they felt that it was impossible for Lu Ming to be a match for them, they decided to attack together and end the battle quickly, so as to avoid any mishaps. All right, the other person nodded as well. Clang, clang, clang. Their swords droned while sword chi tore through the sky and stirred the wind and clouds. Both of them strode forward at the same time and charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming, I'll leave one to you and the other to me. Xiao Wan appeared and transformed into a strand of devilish chi that swept towards one of them. Kill. Without any superfluous words, Lu Ming charged towards one of them. His palm was like a heavenly blade as he executed the hell suppression heaven art and pressed down. Clang! His palm collided heavily with the opponent's sword, and a terrifying rumble resounded. A ripple effused out at a terrifying speed from the place where the palm and sword collided. A few 100 kilometers away, a mountain that towered into the clouds was swept by the ripple, and it was directly severed at the waist. Shattered rocks shot through the sky while dust and dirt suffused the air. Bang! 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 A figure took 3 steps back successively after the collision. It was an expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect. He took a step back, whereas Lu Ming's figure merely swayed slightly. How could this be possible? The expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect opened his eyes wide, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He was actually blasted back by a single palm strike from Lu Ming in a head-on collision. How could this be possible? He clearly noticed that Lu Ming was indeed at the 3rd level of the spirit god realm. A 3rd level spirit god had actually blasted a 7th level spirit god like him back by 3 steps. This was too terrifying. This lad is too monstrous. Kill him, I must kill him. The expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect roared in his heart. He circulated his true origin to the extreme, and at the same time, he executed bloodline fusion to form a sword and unleashed his strongest combat strength. This lad had a 5th-level divine bloodline. Roar! A dragon roar resounded, and the 9 dragons' bloodline appeared. Lu Ming also unleashed his 9 dragons' bloodline and executed bloodline fusion to transform into 9 dragons. The 9 dragons roared as they stepped into the air and pounced towards the opponent. Bang! Bang! The dragon claws smashed through the air and clashed with the sword continuously. However, the sword was completely at a disadvantage and was no match for the 9 dragons. Back then, when Lu Ming had just entered the abysmal demon realm, he had to borrow the power of the 3rd bloodline in order to kill the strong cultivator of the Xia family, who was at the 7th level of the spirit god realm. But now, Lu Ming didn't need to overload the 3rd-level spirit god's power to suppress the opponent. After more than 10 moves, the sword was completely suppressed. It was constantly being bombarded by the 9 dragons, and it was constantly trembling and trembling. Every move of the 9 dragons contained the suppressing hell heaven art, and it was too powerful. Every move seemed to have a heavenly monolith pressing down on him. Ah! Suddenly, a scream came from not far away. It was the scream of another expert from the Sky Martial Sword sect. He was killed by Xiao Wan and was wrapped in a ball of demonic qi. This made the expert who was fighting with Lu Ming tremble in his heart, and fear filled his heart. His heart was in a mess, and his strength was even weaker. Lu Ming seized the opportunity to bombard the sword with several moves. With a bang, the sword exploded, and the expert revealed his true form. His face was pale, and he spat out blood. He quickly retreated, wanting to escape. The 9 dragons stepped into the air, and their speed was terrifying as they chased after the opponent and launched continuous attacks. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.